Yay! Look at us.
All is right with the world, Adam. The Switch 2 has been fully unveiled. It's great. Everybody's happy. They're going to make money. People are going to have fun with their families in Nintendo commercial style where everybody has perfect teeth and there's no sexual ambiguity. It is amazing.
Megadads Live is a mature rated podcast. It's for the Mega Dads, the Mega Moms, but not the Mega Kids. So put on those earmuffs and let's go!
I love how in all of the Nintendo announcement promos, they have like the most metrosexual people. Like these are just like the most beautiful, youthful
Yeah.
people, and they have
Yeah,
great
seriously.
jobs,
Yeah,
great,
I know.
great apartments, like just the most
Yeah,
beautiful.
everything's clean behind them. It's like nothing's lived in. They're like straight out of the IKEA catalog type people,
Yeah,
and they will not have sex with each other. They are completely just friendly. I don't
yeah.
know why I keep coming back to them having sex with each other.
Nintendo
I
makes you
don't know
horny.
why.
These people are clearly not watching the stock market.
Yeah, they're very happy. They're very like oblivious to tariffs. Like none
I-
of that's happening in the commercials.
I
Can you
just
blame
want to
them?
be. I just want to be a Nintendo promo actor. I want to live
Yes.
in that world. All right. Well, guess what, everybody? It's time to talk about Nintendo Switch 2. This is a very special episode of Mega Dad's
Very
Live.
special.
We're not doing any super positives. We're not checking in with Mabel. It's straight up nothing but pure Nintendo because my God, do we have a lot to cover, which is why I'm wearing. How come my hat's so much taller than yours?
Your head is oddly shaped.
Yeah.
You
you
have
ever-
like a Poindexter cone head thing going on there.
Did you ever used to watch Scrubs? When Scrubs
Yeah, of
was on?
course. Yeah, Scrubs is good.
Zach Braff had like that special helmet for his scooter. It was the
Oh.
hair. It was the hair helmet, right? I think that's what this is, so that I don't mess up what little hair I have on the top of my head. So Nintendo had a big blowout direct. It was an hour-long Nintendo Switch 2 announcement, followed by 2 days of Nintendo Treehouse, where they deep dive into all the games that they announced. And honestly, and we'll get to this a little bit later, it left a better impression on me than the actual presentation itself. I got myself a little bit more excited by the Treehouse stuff, even though I didn't catch it all. There was a ton of it, but it gave me a better idea of what these games are. But let's talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. This is the follow-up, obviously, to one of the most popular and successful consoles of all time, the Nintendo Switch, loved by many. Everybody was wondering what they were going to do with the follow-up, and the answer is not a lot different, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're going to dive into the games, the tech, the price, and the reactions. But before we start getting into the nitty-gritty, tell me just like your very brief encapsulated thoughts after watching. Did you watch the Treehouse stuff, or was it just the direct that you watched?
So I watched the direct. I saw little clips of the Treehouse. Like the Treehouse stuff is like hours long over
Yeah.
like 2 days, and it's just like the backlash. Aside from pricing stuff, a lot of it was like you are spending a lot of time on this, but people aren't used to that. Like, hey, let's sit down for hours and just watch like the first 30-20 minutes of this game. It was very odd. Like, who has the time? Even when E3 happened and I would take off work, I'd watch presentations, but I didn't have time for all the post coverage. So it's very interesting. I just caught the 60-minute direct. I thought it was long, the direct, and jam packed. So that's all I caught.
Yeah, this reminded me a lot of E3 because this is exactly how Nintendo used to do it. They'd have their showcase, their stage presentation, and then they'd have days.
The Treehouse stuff is
The
crazy.
Treehouse, and that's exactly what this was. So to me, it was kind of, it felt a little like coming home for Nintendo a little bit, where it's like, my God, this is how it used to be, right? I enjoyed that, even though, like you said, I don't have the time, I don't have the bandwidth to sit down and watch all that stuff. But I certainly scrubbed through it to find the things that I wanted to watch, and that's kind of the world we live in right now, where people just kind of watch it at their own luxury. Well, let's talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 games. And we're going to start with the big one, the the hallmark Nintendo Switch 2 launch title, Super Mario, not Super Mario Kart World, right? That's the
Mario
title
Kart
of the
World.
thing.
Yeah.
Mario Kart World. How is Nintendo going to follow up the gargantuan success of Mario Kart 8, which is one of their biggest games of all time, a game that spanned 2 console generations, countless additional DLC tracks. It's like it's basically what Wii Sports was back in the day. This is the game that everybody came back to on their Nintendo Switch throughout the entire duration of its life cycle. Mario Kart World. Antonio, tell me your thoughts on Mario Kart World. What is this game?
Like they bet big on their big seller, and they're like, let's go. The first game we're going to show off is this kart game. And we didn't realize, I think the big reveal is the open world nature. It's like drive around. All the tracks are kind of present in this open world, and then you drive between them to get to the next race, and you can free roam and all this. So the concept is, it's been done before. I mean, you've
Yeah.
had open world racing games, so it's interesting that they went that way. Will it work and still remain fun? Like, is that fun? Like, even when I played like something like this mode in Forza where you're like, oh, drive around, it's fun because the cars are like super beefy, and it's just fun to like get on those straightaways. But in Mario Kart, you're still gonna just kind of be plodding along. I mean, I think. I mean, it's interesting when you have obstacles and you're climbing things and grinding, and there's a dinosaur like drive up their back, and it's cool. The meat and potatoes of this game is more characters, more carts, more costumes, more items, more of everything. So sure, I'm not the biggest kart fan. When people say, hey, let's go play Mario Kart, I'm like, why? So I can get in first place and get blue shelled? Like, I don't understand what we're doing. Like, I can't fairly win, so why am I trying to win? Like, I don't have the amount of fun that other people have with Mario Kart. I'm impressed by it constantly. Even like Deluxe looks fantastic to this day. So a better looking Mario Kart with more, sure, but it's not like I wouldn't freak out over it like I would, like, for instance, the big title for me would have been like a Smash or something,
right.
With better online functionality. Like that would have been it for me, or a Mario Odyssey or something like that. So it's okay. I mean, did you like what you saw? Or are you like gung ho? Is this what you wanted out of the next Mario Kart?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm kind of the opposite. Like, I'm a huge Super Mario Kart fan. I love Super Mario Kart. Go back to it countless times. And I love the addition of like you talked about the customizable stuff. There's a ton of characters. They pulled like every possible Super Mario character that you could ever think of wanting to be. Like, you can be the little penguin guys from the beginning of the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, I
the
love
one,
those little penguin guys.
the one you threw off the cliff in Mario 64. Like, you can be those
Yeah.
guys. You could be snowmen. You can be
The
little
Moo-Moos.
You could be the freaking Moo Moo from Moo Moo Farm.
That's hot.
I love that stuff. Tons of characters. Give me all the characters.
That's great. The costumes look great.
And the costumes, I really want to talk about this because during the trailer for this game, there's a point where they show Waluigi, who I'm repping right here with my Waluigi hat, and he's on a hog. He's on this low riding Harley, and he's got a bandana on and a leather vest, and he looks straight out of what is it, like Midnight Rider? He looks like Dennis Hopper sitting on that thing. And you watch, if you watch that trailer and you pick out your favorite character, which again, to me, Waluigi all the way, and you watch every time they show that character throughout the trailer, they're constantly wearing different stuff. So I wonder if this is going to be like the thing, whereas in Mario Kart 8, you could spec out your car with different tires, different gliders, all sorts of different things for your car. I wonder if you can mix and match and play, dress up with your Mario characters in Mario Kart World. I love all that stuff. I'm also really excited because this called to mind, in more ways than one, Diddy Kong Racing, which I am a huge fan of Diddy Kong.
Yeah.
I love the fact that your car can go into the water and transform into a jet ski. When you go off of huge jumps, you don't have the pop-up glider, but you sprout wings, so you turn into like an airplane. And then, of course, you talked about the open world stuff. That was kind of the big hook of Diddy Kong Racing, was it was like a Mario 64 racer, right? You had your hub world that you drove to each little level, and this kind of takes it to the next step that we've seen in games like, Burnout Paradise and Forza, like you talked about. And those games, the thing that really was the big hook of, what kind of secrets can you find in those worlds? Like in Burnout, it was find all the billboards that you could smash through. And
Love that.
Yeah, in Forza, there was all sorts of, little secret things that you had to go and find. And so I'm really curious to see how they apply the rules of Mario, using your power-ups to reach new areas or to find new secret stuff. We haven't seen a lot of that, but I've got to believe that that's in there, right?
I spent a lot of time on the speed checkpoints in like these games where it's like you're in the open world, you happen to find a straightaway, and it's like, okay, go from this end to that end as fast as you can and earn like up to 5 stars or whatever it is. And I would like burn through like to try to like go as fast as I can, hit a jump and stay in the air as long as you can. Like I didn't see that, like that they do like a point system attached to that in the Forza games especially. And like, is that going to be in there? I didn't catch that, like breaking the billboards like you mentioned, because that's what spices up the open world racers. So kind of weird, but yeah, there's a lot there. I mean, there it's a cool concept. I like the way it looks. Even their box art and their like title art is like
beautiful.
It's the camera is a fish lens because it's like, let's show them like the whole world behind you. That's like the big selling point, and it works. I think it sells it as, okay, this is quote unquote enough. Are we gonna talk about the negative, the big one?
The big one, we're going to talk about that when we get to the price. I assume you're talking about the price.
Well, that and what you get for the price. But go.
Yeah. We'll obviously learn more about this game. They've announced that there's going to be another follow-up direct exclusively to Mario Kart World. And so we'll talk about more of that when Nintendo shares more. Hey, everybody, let's take a quick moment to thank all of our members of Megadad's Boost. In this troubling economy, I know everybody is worried about where their dollar is going, and we're quite honestly the same here at Megadad's. We've been going 11 years strong, and we want to make sure that we can continue for as long as we possibly can, and the members of Megadad's Boost are the folks that are making it happen. If you want to become a member of Megadad's Boost and you're worried about how much money you got in your bank account, we totally understand. And that's why we're letting you know that you can join Boost for free and still support everything we do here at Megadads. Just go over to patreon.com/megadads. You can join that free tier, or you can pledge as little as $1 a month. We truly appreciate all of your support, and we just thank you for being a part of this amazing community. Our Boost members for the month of April 2025 are Dave Soto, David Snyder, Jesse Waldak, Justin Masson, the Nintendo Dads Podcast, Timothy Olf, Andy Penzick, the Bafo Yucks Dudes, Luke Porter, Brandon Wilson, the Snack Network, Estuardo Zenteno, Brendan Myers, Brent, John DiFrancesco, God, that's a great name, John DiFrancesco, Emily Smith, Spokes, and Eric Wood. And let's not forget all those fantastic folks in the free tier. We've got Solara Clark, the Coconut Wizard, Avi Cohen, the One Track Gamers, John Leola, Michael Kwan, Sonny Megatron, Nima, Petey McD, Mike Salvino, and Brian Scott. Whether you're a $10 member of Boost or you're joining us on that free tier, we encourage everyone, come on in, the water's fine, right here at Megadad's Boost. Just go to patreon.com/Megadads. Now back to that amazing content that you made happen. Let's get to their next big marquee game. This was the one that actually ended the presentation, which I know Clay had a really fantastic deep dive video, which actually got me more excited for the game than the trailer itself, because he pulled out all these little things from Donkey Kong Bonanza that I sure as hell didn't see on my first watch of that trailer. By the way, what a name. Donkey Kong Bonanza.
It's perfect.
Like, give it up, right? This is Donkey Kong in a all new 3D platformer, which, by the way, if you go back to my Mega 5 games that I want to see for Switch 2, 3D Donkey Kong platformer was in there. So I was very excited to see this. Donkey Kong's taking center stage. He's taking the place of Mario in the 3D platformer launch game for the Switch. That's a surprise, right? I was expecting Mario. Were you expecting Mario?
Yeah, I think I was of the same mind as you. Like when it came to predictions over the years, I was like, you know who hasn't had a time to shine? Like Donkey Kong. Like what happened to Donkey Kong 64? I know I've said it like many times, so it was surprising. I'm glad that they did it. And yeah, this game delivered of everything they showed. When you go back and recap like people's impressions, this got people excited. I mean, the destruction aspect of it, it looks fresh. I think they made a good call. The only problem I saw was like the design of the character, like the actual DK's design, like gives me like weird vibes. So it's like from the Mario
Very,
movie.
very emotive, right? He's
Yeah, but
super goofy face all the time, kind of a thing.
yeah, it was definitely the standout for me as well, just like other people.
I love the fact that this appears to be a massive call to our current political climate. Donkey Kong is a miner. He's beat down. He's working for the man. And you've got this big industry billionaire, psychotic monkey, Elon Monkey, right? And he comes in and he fucks everything up. Donkey Kong's just looking for some money. Like the whole thing of the game is that you're collecting gold, right?
Yeah.
He's doing his hustle. Apparently he's a stripper now, right? Because he's got like the suspenders and the tie. He's got no shirt on, but he's rocking those tight pants. So he's a part of the gig economy. He's
Channing Tatum is like full
Yeah.
effect. The
he's
vibe.
hustling that ass. So Donkey Kong is all about striking out against the man on top and trying to find your cheddar, right?
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely got those vibes. It's like power to the little monkey workers. That's all I was thinking about the whole time.
I love the fact that much like you talked about when we discussed like what would be next for Donkey Kong, you really called out the brute strength of the character, and you wanted to
Absolutely.
see a game where he could just really smash. You called out the Hulk game,
Yeah.
Hulk
And
Total
Ultimate Destruction or
Ultimate
something.
Destruction, right? That's kind of what this is. I mean, Donkey Kong can blast through the walls, he can pound through the ground, dig holes. You just fuck shit up in this game, right?
Yeah. When was
Is
the
that
last time we
exciting?
saw destruction like this? Like I know that what was the Xbox game that went fully destruction? It was Crackdown. So Crackdown 3 like tried to do it back in the day, like the game that was on Mars where you could
Oh, Red
fully like
Faction.
Red Faction, you're destroying the environment and creating holes wherever you wanted. This gameplay loop like that they have going on of just going deep into the ground and finding stuff, like it's people aren't ready for how awesome that's going to be, and I hope that they make full use of it. It looks very fun to just smash and break through the ground, and all of that climbing is in there. Like his move set is just, it's screaming like potential, like right off the bat.
Yeah, and they even did a little tease that there's gonna be some side scrolling levels. You look like you're in a typical,
People love that.
people
Donkey
love that
Kong
stuff.
Country style
Yep,
side scrolling, yeah.
all back
And
to
Mario
rare.
did that obviously, where you kind of completely shift from 3D back to 2D. People love that shit. I love that shit. Like I'm really hoping that they make use of that as well. The mine carts are in there. It's all
Yeah.
the good stuff from Donkey Kong. All they seem to really have tapped into the potential of what kind of a game that could be. So yeah, it looks good. It looks really good.
I want to talk about next Metroid Prime 4, which this is a series that I'm not in love with because I'm not much of a first person shooter guy, but I know you are. Metroid as a series is really hit and miss for me. I love the side scrolling stuff, but I'm not in love with the first person Prime, which I know a lot of people really really are. I've heard people compare this to Halo. The thing that I am excited about, the thing that I think is really cool about this, is the mouse controls. We haven't even talked about the fact that the new Joy-Con can be used. You turn it on its side and you can use it as mouse controls, which they
Yeah.
showed off during the Treehouse, which I thought was really interesting. But give me your thoughts on Metroid Prime 4.
So interestingly enough, I love the concept, like first person Samus, you're in the helmet. There's a cool UI. Like it's different than the 2D. Like there are elements that I enjoy. I never fell in love with the Prime series. I don't think I beat any of the games. I wasn't really anticipating and saying they really need to make another one of these. So
Yeah.
unlike other people, my hype level was down. And then after seeing it, it was like this is what you were waiting for. I like the color palette's cool. The design seems a little dated, but then you get into things like the enemies, and I'm like, these enemies in Metroid games always just look like, to me, like generic, like either like
Super generic.
a bug type thing,
Yeah.
or like, it's meant to look like something, but not really that. I don't know. It doesn't scream to me engaging gameplay, but apparently that is what people get out of it. So it's really it's lost on me, the true hook of this.
Yep.
And even in all these games that they showed enhanced, like better frame rates, like they look buttery smooth and great, like Zelda and buttery smooth frame rate, like it elevates the whole experience. I saw the the full potential of this, at least in the what you can see in trailers and stuff. I didn't catch most of the deep dive in the treehouse, but it didn't look amazing to me. What did you think?
I do not see the appeal of this game whatsoever. Like you said, it looks incredibly generic. It's like you can see the boardroom behind this game of people saying we need to make a cool sci-fi shooter to compete with everybody else, and everything about it screams just like bland. Like
Yeah.
Samus doesn't have any. I'm sorry, but Samus doesn't have any good moves. The coolest thing that Samus can do is turn into a ball, which doesn't really. That's not gameplay excitement to me. This game, much like all the other ones, which is a huge part of what took me out, is like it stops every 5 steps for you to scan something.
Oh my
And
god.
goddamn, if there's nothing more boring than stopping the action to read shit, like I don't know what it is. I'm glad for the Metroid fans, but this is if you want cool sci-fi from Nintendo, give us Star Fox. That's where it's at. That's where you get your speed, your huge explosions, your velocity, your excitement. It's Star Fox. It's not Metroid. I'm sorry guys, but this series is incredibly overrated. It's a huge pass for me.
Yeah.
The next game on our list is also taking advantage of those Joy-Con mouse controls. It's called Drag, Cross, Drive, and it's a basketball game. But the hook of this is that it uses the motion and the mouse controls because you're in a wheelchair. So you're using your hands like you're actually, using your arms on a wheelchair, and then you're shooting basketball. Complete tech demo nonsense, if you ask me. This looks incredibly boring. But what did you think of Drag, Cross, Drive?
I forgot about it as soon as they showed it, and later on people were bringing it up. I'm like, what game? What wheelchair basketball game? Like I didn't. It was like zoned out, and it doesn't make sense for something like this, in my opinion, to not be like a pack-in. Like this could have been the tech demo game. Like everybody owns it. That's how you ensure there's a player base initially, and everybody's gonna try it for a while and then forget it. Is this a paid full title?
I would imagine. I don't think there's any pack-in. I mean, you can buy. We'll talk about again. With the pricing and stuff, but you can buy a bundle. But the only game in the bundle is Mario Kart. So this is going to be a pay to play.
Yeah, it's same thing with the tour thing that I think we'll talk about. This is like a throwaway. It did graphically it didn't look good. It didn't seem, or they sometimes you'll see these gimmicky or multiplayer games like the Knockout City one that used the I don't know if you ever played the volleyball game, or the one where you were I think that was that
Dodgeball, right?
Knockout Kings or whatever. It was the dodgeball game, whatever. So to me, that's okay, niche multiplayer game, get people into it. There was another one that was a pretty cool roller derby thing. It's you're on skates, roller derby, you go high into the air, and that's a roller derby game. So this screams to me like it's that type of genre. But all these games fail. They people play them for a while and then they fall off the face of the earth. So it's why put effort into this? Oh, it's to show off the tech. But not really, because we're not packing it in. So we're not really that committed to letting people see a game with full potential that the Switch has these, capabilities. So it's just a crapshoot. I don't know how it got greenlit somewhere along the way. It's a throwaway for me. I don't know.
To me, it fails the Nintendo test. The thing about Nintendo games all good Nintendo games have character and charm, right? Splatoon comes out, brand new IP, but the charm, the character, the design, it screamed character. There's no character in this thing at all. All the characters look the same. They're in very bland, gray, dark environments that don't have anything interesting them. It's just a basketball court in a little bowl. So it just fails the Nintendo test in that there's no charm or character there. So it's a huge pass for me. Next game is a tease for the return of Kirby Air Ride. I think it's called Kirby Air Riders. I never played Kirby Air Ride back in the Nintendo.
Same. I didn't get it. I didn't catch it. No.
The only thing to call to mind for me personally is that this is going to be directed by the Smash director Sakurai. So it's really interesting to see him stepping into. Apparently he directed the original Kirby Air Ride, so he's coming back to do something completely different. Kirby's cute. I like Kirby. Were you excited? Did this do anything for you?
No, and not being introduced to the series before. Plus the trailer was like a hype trailer. It wasn't like a gameplay trailer.
It's for the fans, really.
And let me ask you this: is this the time to do Kirby Air Ride when your flagship launch title is Mario Kart World? Is this not like the same ish? Like, am I crazy that they might want to space out these racing games?
And I think it will. I bet it will be spaced out. This is absolutely throwing a bone that, like, hey, we've got other.
It's coming later.
I guarantee this is going to be, next year, because again, they didn't really show anything from it. It was just a teaser of, hey, we're making it. But it was a weird pull. I'm not a huge Kirby fan, and the Kirby that I have enjoyed has been like the platforming stuff. So I'm sure there's people probably losing their minds over it. Much like the Duskbloods. The Duskbloods is a huge deal, a massive deal, because it's an exclusive From Software game for Nintendo Switch 2. But I don't give a fuck about Souls games. So can I pull any excitement or glean any information from you? Because I skipped this trailer straight through. I didn't want to watch it. I don't care about this style of game. Antonio, is there any interest from you for the Duskbloods?
This is the top 3 reasons to get a Switch. It's
here we go.
Exclusive game from a huge developer, and you didn't really see it coming either. So people have been wanting like a Bloodborne sequel, and they're like, oh, well, this is basically it. It's a spiritual successor. It looks fantastic. I do enjoy these games. I'm not great at them. I got decently far into Elden Ring, which was, the most accessible of the Souls games, in my opinion. And I would play the hell out of this. It's amazing. With everything that's gone around the announcement, from, hey, let's talk about the hardware. Oh, pretty good, right? And then, you get into the pricing debacle, then the follow-up pricing debacle with tariffs. All this shit, if you ask people about, like, what's the big selling point, I would say majority of people either forget or got overlooked that this game even existed. It's lost. If you go and Google, like, Switch 2 announcement, you hear about the price, you hear about Donkey Kong and other games, but nobody's talking about this. And I think it's a huge misstep. An exclusive From Software game should have made huge waves, and it really hasn't. So they dropped the ball huge on maximizing this thing, but it is huge.
Yeah.
It just it's overshadowed is all.
So you're excited about this? You're gonna
absolutely, yeah. This would be one of my top reasons. Top reasons to get a Switch is, if you like Switch, which I did, and you just were looking for improved internals and stuff, that's one. And then, are you gonna have the first party stuff? That's interesting. Most interesting one was Donkey Kong. It's like, okay, they're gonna have cool stuff down the road. And third one is third-party exclusives that you can't get anywhere else. Holy shit, they secured a From Software game. Those are the top 3 reasons to me that you would want a Switch. And it's huge. It is gibungous. And maybe people will realize that at some point. They gotta redo this whole fucking announcement.
I should have led with this, and I'll talk a little bit more about it later, but like, I feel there's a part of me that really feels bad for Nintendo because The
Sorry.
the timing of this with everything that's happening in the world, my God, like they just drew the short straw, right? Like
Yes.
they got boned by what's happening in the world. I feel really bad about that, but we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Those are like those are the big games. There's also a bunch of ports. They're getting Final Fantasy VII Remake, they're getting Elden Ring, they're getting Cyberpunk, Like a Dragon, all sorts of current slash last gen ports coming in. This thing, obviously, probably a reason why you got Final Fantasy VII Remake
Dusk Bloods.
and
Fuck.
not
I said Dusk Bloods. Sorry. Keep going.
and not Final Fantasy Rebirth. Like, I don't know if this thing could handle that, but who knows? Last generation, Nintendo proved that they could handle a lot more than we thought they could. Whole bunch of ports. They're getting a GameCube part of the Switch subscription, which I know a lot of people dog Switch Online and the way that they're doing their classic catalog. I really enjoy all the games that they have in their classic catalog. Elliot and I have been playing GoldenEye like every night for the last week. He loves that game. So I love being able to go back to those classics, and I'm excited to see GameCube on there. Although it blows my fucking mind that they put GameCube Wind Waker in there when they have Wind Waker HD that they could repurpose for Switch 2. That makes no fucking sense to me. Why you're going to give us Wind Waker Vanilla and not Wind Waker HD. I don't get it.
There's a difference. I'm fucking confused.
Huge difference.
So they came out. They're giving you the old version.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Not the Wii U HD remaster that they had, which was gorgeous, had quality of life improvements, was an absolute masterpiece.
Oh, you're not getting any of that. Okay.
Not getting any of that. You're getting the old GameCube version, which is still a great game. Still a great game, but when you got that HD version rattling around in there, they gave us fucking Twilight Princess. You're gonna port that garbage to us, and you're not gonna give us Wind Waker HD? What are you thinking, Nintendo? So those are the games. Are there any other games you want to talk about, Antonio? Anything you want to?
The pack-in game, the Switch to or not the pack-in
not
game,
not the pack-in game.
not pack-in game, the Switch to experience, like the what is it called? Do we have?
I think
this
it's like
information?
something. Welcome Tour, right? Welcome Tour.
Welcome Tour. I'm gonna Google it really. But long story short, yes, it's Switch to Welcome Tour. They're gonna charge you for a game / experience that just shows you what the system could do instead of packing it in. It was one of it could have been the most egregious greedy moves to do this. It made sense to absolutely no one. It just seems like a cash grab. It's not that it's not cool. Like they did this before, like the Steam Deck does this, for instance. They'll give you an ability lab or something to, hey, here's how the gyro works and shit like that. So doing this makes sense. It's like, let's highlight everything about the system, but for people that want to pay to know what they bought. It's like, what?
The fact
it's crazy.
The fact that this exists. And by the way, it looks really shitty. Like it doesn't even look that fun. It looks really.
I like the colors.
The fact that they have this launching alongside the console, and you have to pay for it. And PlayStation released with Astrobot's Playroom, which is the same concept in an absolute masterpiece 3D platformer. It's the same thing. You're running around the inside of your console, and it's showing you how all the things work and all the internal tech and how you control it. And that thing was free. Like. Nintendo should really be embarrassed by this thing. Absolutely ridiculous.
So breaking news, just in the last few hours, there was a article that came out on Game Rant about the price for this Welcome Tour game. Can you guess what the price is, Adam?
$5. $5.
The Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour game will cost 990 yen, which is $6.12 USD. I'm very happy. I would not have suggested that. Why charge it all if you're only asking $6?
Why charge it all?
What the fuck are you doing? Like, if you're gonna, I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna be $10, $15. Anything more would be even more egregious. But it makes even less sense to charge like just a few dollars for what reason. Like, this is insanity. It makes me even more upset. If they would have said it was 20, I would have been like, I am expectedly upset because I knew you were going to charge too much for this, no matter what you charge. Now I'm even more upset that you're almost giving it to me.
They're gonna
Turn
nothing on this.
Fuck?
What the fuck?
The game's final price in the US will likely be somewhere between $5 and $10.
For the price of an individual Joy-Con.
Is the tariffs going to increase this $6 game to 10 or 12, Adam?
That'd be
this
great.
Sucks.
That'd be great if they patch this thing so your little guy's running inside your Switch 2 and he's like, Donald Trump is jacking up the price of this component by this much. This component, when it crosses the border, is now going to be this much. That'd be amazing. I'd actually probably
the how we're fucking you over tour game. I don't even understand.
The place to be for Megadads socials is the Megadads Discord, where you can engage with your favorite Megadads as well as other friends of the Megadads every single day in our stress-free and welcoming social space. When you're a member of our Discord, you will get alerts for all of our content drops, so you never have to miss a review, a podcast, or a hot take. Partake in our fun weekly Megadads holidays like Waluigi Wednesday and Final Fantasy Sunday. Megadads Discord is fun, free, and follows you wherever you go. Join us today and become part of the conversation.
Okay, but that was the only game that I saw on the game front that I think we missed. We could have. Let us know in the comments if we fucked up the game roundup. But thank you.
Well, since we're talking about running around the inside of our Switch, let's talk about the tech. This console is 4K, finally, sometimes, depending on how you're playing it. It has HDR. I'm so happy that this thing has HDR. My God, Nintendo has the most colorful, vibrant, bright games. I can't wait to see how they look in HDR. Absolutely excited about that. What do you think about the visual fidelity increase on these games? Is this acceptable? Is this not enough? Where are you sitting?
It's good enough. It's good enough, and it would be nonsense to kind of expect anything more. Like, there are larger handhelds that have come out. There are more, dense resolution screens, etc. There's OLED. I wanted OLED, but every impression that came out of the hands-on news feel was that people were happy with the screen. It's big, it's bright, the good HDR implementation. I don't like HDR because it's not done well so often that it can kind of ruin the visuals for me, but it seems like they're doing it right. So I'm happy. I'm so happy with the whole what they're giving you. It's not too much where it was going to make it even crazier expensive, but it's just enough. It seems like I play my Switch in handheld a lot, just in bed a couple minutes before, while a lot of people never use handheld mode, but I did quite a bit. So I love my Steam Deck. I handheld game a lot lately. So it was all wins. It's like another USB-C port. Oh, we have a mic on here that can reduce background noise. Like, all kinds of shit like that. I think the jury's still out if the thumbsticks are Hall effects sensor sticks, or if they're just improved. They are larger, good across the board. Everything about the feedback has been strong. Apparently even the magnets are incredibly strong, and it works really well to snap them on and take them off. So it seems like the internals are there. I mean, the DLSS implementation with artificial frame AI frame generation, whatever, it's going to allow them to create a lower resolution initially, but then scale it up with AI magic. Fuck it. Yeah, good. Use it. I'm happy. I was happy with every part of the tech, hardware, internals. I mean, fuck it. I don't. If it was OLED, despite all this tariff shit, if it was OLED, I'd be paying $1,000 or whatever they're gonna end up asking for this.
Is your Steam Deck OLED? Or
no, it's not. I fucked up and got the standard version, and then later on, I was regretting it. When Nintendo came out with their OLED model of Switch 1, I was like, fuck, this screen looks tight. Have you seen an OLED screen or
Yep,
phones? Some phones have OLED screens. There's something about them, but
they look
in
great.
the end, I heard from enough people that said I don't miss the OLED, and I'm like, all right, fine,
It's,
fine.
I talked a few times about my PlayStation Portal, which does not have an OLED screen, but that thing is big and bright and beautiful as well. So I think there's been enough advancement in that technology. It's not as good, but it can be very visually pleasant. So yeah, I'm the same way as you. I'm very excited. Nintendo's finally seeming to step a little bit forward into current generation. I'm excited for some beautiful HDR color pop in 4K. I can't wait to see like a Zelda built for this thing. I cannot wait to see Mario 3D platformer built for this
Those
thing.
those enhanced Zelda versions, you just show like that, like Tears of the Kingdom running the way that it probably should have in the first place, like higher frame rate, like super sharp. It looks it like I was smiling looking at it. I'm like, this looks great. Nintendo games that are like have power behind them. That was the ask.
That
It
was the
was
ad.
always it was always the ask. It's like, what if Nintendo came out with like games that didn't chug? Like it's gonna be good. The
That's I
Yeah.
might honestly, if if I get a Switch 2 or when I get a Switch 2, I might actually play through Tears of the Kingdom now because that was a
Mhm.
big part of it. Like
Same.
I came off of Horizon Forbidden West and like immediately pivoted to Tears of the Kingdom, and I was like, I can't do this. I cannot play this game in this state. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that. We talked a little bit about the inside. Let's talk about the outside. Those magnetic Joy Cons, they no longer have
Yeah.
the rail slides. And apparently they're very strong. I've seen video of people like holding
Yeah.
the thing sideways by the magnets. Um, apparently it's a little bit more cumbersome to like release or attach them in. They don't just slide in. You got to kind of click them in the right way, but they're strong. They're durable. I pray to God. I pray to God that we don't get this drift epidemic like we had with the original Switch.
There's no way.
If these
There's no way.
if these bad boys have drift, there's going to be a riot. They got a better kickstand on that thing, which a lot of people don't play tabletop mode, but as somebody who has little kids who play Switch, very regularly when my kids take Switch to grandma and grandpa's, or I recently went to the car dealership and we were there for like half the day. Kids brought the Switch, picked that kickstand out. They were playing it tabletop mode. So that's a really big deal for parents. Um, and then there's this thing that they've got on there called Game Chat.
The C button. Oh
The
my
C
god.
button. Everybody was excited. What's the C button for? C button apparently is for talking with friends online now, and it doesn't come with, but there is an optional accessory. I don't know what it's called, but it's a camera. It's a little camera on a little
The
tripod
camera.
thing.
Yeah,
It's the
whatever.
Switch 2 camera, which reminds me a lot of Wii U had something called, oh god, what the hell was it called? Wii U Voice? Wii U it was like a little speaker thing that you would set on your TV, and it came, I think, exclusively with Animal Crossing, actually. Uh, and it's Nintendo trying to reinvent the way that people communicate online, I guess. This camera is implemented in a multitude of ways where people can set it up and they can project themselves into the game. So, like if you're playing Mario Party with your friends, there's a little bubble above their character that shows their real-time video feed of their face above their characters, so you know who everybody is. Very gimmicky, and not only very gimmicky, incredibly low quality, choppy, buggy, low res. This thing was kind of embarrassing. I was surprised they honestly included it in the presentation because it looked so bad.
The chugginess, so like there's a lot of different like elements to this, but they've always struggled, Nintendo, in making chat cumbersome. They had this fucking app that you were supposed to use for, in Switch 1. It's like, here, let's get into the chat app. Like, it's always been clunky. So, like, all right, we're going to revolutionize things by having a button that lets you get into it quickly. Okay, sounds good. By the way, we're going to make you pay for it. It's only free until March 31st, 2026. Then you need to have an NSO membership. So the button will be, I guess, disabled or will not do the functionality. I mean, what does it do when you stop paying for the NSO and you don't have you're not doing the paid privilege of using it. It's wild. And then do you want to see the little boxes of your friends' faces under your gameplay so it shrinks your game
Yeah.
so you can see 4 chuggy like 5 frame per second screens going underneath? It's like, oh, I can see your screen. So I'm watching my screen and then maybe like up to 4 other screens going in super shitty resolution. Then I can see your face too. Okay, is this really like it screams gimmick. It is a gimmick. Is this shit going to be used? I mean, I can think of like 10 other things Nintendo's weird wacky ideas that had more potential to have legs than this thing. Like this is not going to be used
The only
by
thing
anyone.
The only thing that I thought was kind of cool was like the idea that you can pull up your chat with somebody who's playing like a different game. So like I thought that was kind of cool. Like if you're talking to your friend, he's like, "Oh man, I'm at this part in Mario. Check this out," and you can pull it up and like maybe it's lovely I haven't seen yet. But
It's cool.
it's like you said, it's gimmicky. It's not the worst. It's not the worst gimmick Nintendo's ever thrown at us, but it's certainly not the best.
Agreed.
Now we're
Agreed.
talking about the pain. Now we're talking about the price. Again, part of me feels bad about the timing of this thing. I don't think we even have final prices on this console, even though they've announced a final price on this console. The Nintendo Switch 2 will retail for $500 with Mario Kart World. You can get it for $450 without Mario Kart, but you'd be a fucking lunatic to do so. Because why, Antonio?
The Mario Kart World apparently is an $80 game. So it's going new ground. They are trying to break into an $80 game now when people had just started doing premium base games for 70. So they say, you know what, we can do this. And then the question becomes, and this is the big problem to me, was and I know that this Mario Kart game is not fully featured in the sense that I'm pretty sure Link was not shown as a character in the base footage or anywhere. That was what I heard, but I didn't pay enough attention myself. But the nature of these games is usually they release different tracks later, like in Deluxe, where Deluxe ended up being a fully featured Mario Kart with like all of these tracks, and that was the selling point. It's like more tracks, like it's more not a novel concept
stuff.
Yeah, so had they said there's a content release update schedule, and by the way, it's all included, we're not going to nickel and dime you for paid DLC over seasons or over packs anymore. This is just it. So your replayability is going to be through the roof. They didn't say anything about the price. They let people figure out what it was because the system price and the game price was not talked about in the actual direct. They let people figure it out, and you couldn't justify the price with information like that. Like, oh, by the way, we're charging this price for any other reason than they thought that they could. There was no like roadmap promise of DLC that wasn't going to be paid. It was just like, that's the price. And people were figuring out, be like, hey, did they mention that this was like fully featured or something? It's like, no, that's just it. And like I said, for someone like me who, I understand the replayability of Mario Kart. I understand the past success in sales numbers, but I would not pay that much for that game. Like, I don't know how I could justify that. Like, it's a high price.
It's
for a base
wild.
game.
It's wild. Like I am not upset about the cost of the console itself. Like,
most people aren't.
I'm not happy about it, but like I get it.
Yeah, make your money, Nintendo.
This is what I asked for. I wanted
you delivered.
4K. I wanted HDR. I wanted better Joy-Cons. I wanted the power. I wanted all that stuff. So I will pay for that. To me, it's the price of the games themselves, which seem to be just kind of whatever. Like Donkey Kong has been confirmed to be 70. Why is Donkey Kong 70 and Mario Kart is 80? Because Mario Kart's going to sell more.
We're playing for replayability and past success. Past success.
Yeah.
Replayability. Like that's like charging more for a sports game because it's like an endless gameplay loop as opposed to a single player adventure game where you roll credits and maybe there's a new game plus, maybe there's not. Maybe there's collectibles and an achievement thing, but then this type of game, which is like just keep playing. There's no end to the enjoyment. It's a replayability game. It's a party game.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? Let's charge them more because there's more value to that. It was this concept we all knew, but they finally figured out that they can probably charge because they can, and now they will.
It's very odd, the media marketplace, right? I was thinking about this yesterday. We've got video games in a very strange place where there's this wide range of what publishers are asking you to pay for their games.
Yep.
And it doesn't seem to be some of it is like, double A indie, okay, $30 makes sense. Triple A, first party premium price, that kind of makes sense. But the $10 difference between Donkey Kong and Mario Kart is very baffling to me. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. You got movies in the movie theater. All these movies cost a very wide range of cost for what a movie costs to produce, right? But
Yep.
ticket prices are always the same. A ticket to like a Marvel movie is always going to be the same as like a ticket to a lower budget horror film.
Yeah.
Right? Even though
Yeah.
the cost to produce them is all over the place. Same with like music. Like if you download an album from a lower end artist to like fucking who's a current pop star that I don't know, Antonio.
Taylor Swift. Oh,
Taylor
that you
Swift,
don't know?
right?
No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like for some reason, other media markets have their box that they sit in, but video games are kind of all over the place. And I don't like this plane of price points based on popularity of franchise versus, what it actually costs to make. It's very strange, makes me uncomfortable. And in addition to that, there's all the accessories. A Pro controller is going to cost you $80. A new pair of Joy-Cons is going to cost you $90. That stupid camera thing is going to cost you $50.
Going back to the Joy-Cons really quick, like that's a thing. It's like they had to decide to add new tech, and they said, let's add this mouse thing, which if they don't do the mouse thing, maybe they can invest less in the redesign of the Joy-Con. Like there's got to be some cost to doing that. Like just don't do that, and maybe as a company you could decide to not jack up the price of the tech as much because you didn't do that new shit that no one's gonna use. Like something that came out about the mouse was, okay, a mouse is supposed to be used at a desk or at a computer desk. Are people putting their Switch into a desk setup? No, people are not doing that. You're either plugging it into the TV or you're doing handheld. So there's no surface in front of you to put the mouse. So it's like, do it on your leg or thigh. What the fuck are you doing? Like, did the Switch need a mouse? It's like, we got a hybrid handheld console type thing. It needs a mouse. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, no one's gonna. You're not even really. I'm just like, I'm baffled by it. Like, I don't know. It was just one of the more baffling things was this mouse thing, and then they didn't successfully sell it. Then they're like the armchair or the wheelchair basketball. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
At least throw Mario Paint in there. Give me Mario Paint.
What is
right?
it? Or a Civilization 7 just came out. Have it be like, hey, we have Civ. They may have talked about that, but and I missed it. Like maybe later that Civilization 7 was coming. Like a new strategy game that's primarily played on computer. Or show 10 computer-ish mouse type games back to back. Be like, you can play all this shit. You know what I mean? You needed a montage to sell the fact that this Joy-Con or that this mouse Joy-Con shit. I would have invested in something like that, but what do I know?
This program is powered by Megadad's Boost, our public support program. You can join at patreon.com/Megadads. For over 10 years, Megadads has been bringing you the best in podcasts, reviews, interviews, family fun, and so much more. As an independent media organization, we rely on audience members like you to help support what we do, to ensure that Megadads can continue to bring you the great content that you enjoy. If you've been watching, listening, or playing along through the years, please consider lending your support by becoming a member of Megadads Boost. Memberships start for as little as $1 a month, and you can start collecting your Boost rewards from day one. Rewards like art cards, early access podcasts, reviews, gameplay clips, and so much more. Please visit patreon.com/Megadads and become a member today. You can help us continue to make more of that Megadads coverage you've loved over the last 10 years well into the future by becoming a member of Megadads Boost.
Let's see what the community knows. We have a ton of community reactions. I'm going to read through them really quick, and then if we want to touch on any of them, we certainly will. From Blue Sky, PK Geek Dad said, while it looks like nice tech, it seems that Nintendo has decided it wants to best, or the player Sony, in nickeling and diming its consumer base. Between the raise in base price for the games and everything seems to have with upgrade purchase. We didn't even talk about the upgrade purchases, very akin to PlayStation. This seems like very predatory pricing. Yeah, they're doing the same thing. They're doing the PlayStation deal where you can upgrade from your PS4 to your PS5 version for like $10 or something like that. How do you feel about that? Any comment on that?
I mean, it was either going to be enhanced versions for free or paid. And then again, we don't know for sure, but it seems like it's going to be like $15, $20 for enhanced versions. It's like, whatever. I mean, if that's your prerogative, if you want to like repay for the enhanced version that probably should be free, fine. I mean, I even might, especially when you see how good that upgrade is to Tears of the Kingdom. It's like, sure. So whatever. It's fine. It was going to be needlessly complicated, like no matter what. So yeah.
Sure it was. Dave Simonton from Blue Sky says that he would call it a woo and a who moment, so he's very excited. Bird from the Discord, our good friend Bird, says $450 for Nintendo seems like crazy money for a more inefficient battery on top of higher pricing of games that rarely drop in value. Seems like not the best idea when the likelihood of us all barreling towards potential global recession climbs higher each and every day. Absolutely couldn't say it better myself. Everybody's worrying about money and a time that we're being asked to pay for more. Our own Coconut Wizard says the price point is going to hold a lot of people back. Between the system price and the $80 Mario Kart, they're probably preemptively covering tariffs along with the usual raise in tech prices. But they also know that they can charge a lot and people will pay for it because it's Nintendo.
Yeah, and just to be clear, a lot of these comments came in like literally just before the hey, we have to rethink all this pricing shit. We're not going to do the pre-order in America like starting on the 9th. We're going to have to rethink this. This may change.
Yes.
Price is subject to change.
The tariff trade war is in full effect right after the Direct happened, and Nintendo responded by saying that they're going to be delaying pre-orders as they try to figure out exactly what the fuck Donald Trump is thinking. Along with the rest of us. I'm preempting buying eggs. That's what I'm delaying. Jesus Christ. Jason says he's holding off at this point. I'll get Prime 4 on Switch 1, hopefully with a voucher, and I'll wait. But that FOMO is going to be something. Clay says despite higher prices, he's fully down for the Switch 2. Was very impressed with both the hardware and the software shown during the Direct, with Donkey Kong being the standout must-have purchase. He's very excited and he's ready to splurge. Estuardo says, I was saving up for a Steam Deck, but I decided to wait till the announcement of the Switch 2. And now that we know the capabilities of the system, I'm happy that I started saving. He's getting Switch 2. Captain Ender says, I don't like the high price of games, especially without potentially being able to resell them. And the new exclusives and re-releases don't draw me in. That was a big thing for me, was so much of that presentation was ports. I was very excited for Mario Kart. I was very excited for Donkey Kong. But so much of it was stuff that I had already seen that I found myself scrubbing through a lot of that presentation, which left me feeling underwhelmed. until that Treehouse stuff, in which I was able to see more of those games and get a little bit more excited. But so many ports, man. Do they really
Yeah.
think that a lot of these Switch adopters don't have other platforms that they've played these games on? What do you think the idea is there?
I don't know. I mean, they seem like they're gonna have like new players. You know, that's like the big hope. Ports are always a thing for Nintendo. I mean,
Yeah.
they're port crazy, and I'm pretty sure they do decently well. So, yeah, just another way to make money, milk a little bit, leverage the effort that you've already put out there. So interesting.
We've got V who says, I was excited until I saw the price tag. I want to Switch 2, but Nintendo's making it really hard to justify. Shorter battery life and worse screen than my OLED. And Nurse Lychee says, honestly, the core for it to me is since after the GameCube, the Nintendo has been a secondary system for me. Love the exclusives, don't get me wrong, but I already have a backlog of games to play. Too little, too late, for too much. Which brings us to our final reactions to close out the show. Antonio, break it down for me. What's your final verdict on the Switch 2 at this point?
You can't have one because of the tariff shit. As of recording, we had just found out, like, I think yesterday, that they stopped the pre-orders, and you don't know what the final price is on everything. Some people will claim that you can value, like, talk about a game, review a game even, or hardware, and like do it separate from the price. And I couldn't disagree more. I think the price affects the value. Like if I love something and I want to tell you about it, hey, you should get it, you should play it, you should buy it, whatever it is, but the price is astronomical, I'm not going to recommend it. I can't, because it affects the recommendation. So I don't know. No one knows the true cost and effect that the tariffs will have. There's percentages out there. What country is this fucking Switch sitting in right now? Like, was it pre-made and sitting in a warehouse in this country, and that's why the price won't be so bad? Like, there's so many questions, and the governing bodies are like releasing statements and not knowing and just saying that they don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what the point is of the tariffs. We don't know if this is like gonna stick. We don't know if the price now of the Switch is gonna go up from $450 to $650, $700. So I don't know what I think about the Switch 2, honestly. I mean, if I could separate everything from the prices, then I would say decent, better tech, exclusives on the horizon, some cool first party looks at things. So it's decent. It's definitely decent. But is it a home run? Even separated from the price, I think they could have done better and more. So yeah, I'm not sure. Jury's out for Antonio. Hypecaster does not know how to feel. I'm a bag of mixed emotions.
Honestly, that's what I love so much about what we do. I'm not a guy that often listens to other podcasts, like mainstream media podcasts, but I did for this. I listened to MinMax, I listened to some impressions from IGN. Game Informer's back, super exciting. I listened to some impressions from them. But the thing about when you listen to these big programs, these big media entities, is they're assessing the product that they know is going to be provided to them by Nintendo. Here at Megadads, we live paycheck to paycheck.
Yep.
We live balancing how much gas we're going to put in our tank, how much food we're going to put on the table,
yep,
versus the games that we're going to be able to play. We live in the real world here, and that is a huge effect. We live in a time right now of incredible financial insecurity for the entire globe. It's not just us middle class dads. Like, the entire world right now is uncertain about their financial future. And this came at the worst possible time. For me personally, I have a huge trip that I planned last year before the election I didn't know what was going to happen. I was recently forced to purchase a new vehicle because tariffs just came into effect that are going to jack up the prices of cars, and I wasn't going to be able to survive much longer on the vehicle that I had. So I had to buy a car that I don't know how I'm going to be able to afford. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go donate plasma, which is something that I haven't done for almost 10 years. I don't know how I'm going to pay for my life in the upcoming year. So the Switch 2 comes out at a time that I would love to buy it, but I can't. Like you said, I can't have it. I'm very excited for the games. I'm extremely excited about the tech and the possibility and the future of what Nintendo is promising. But Nintendo, I can't afford you. And it's not necessarily your fault, but I can't. I cannot afford this new platform. So I'm excited from a gamer perspective. I'm excited for people like Jason Lacey, who's been saving, like he said, for years for this, and he's ready for it. He put it perfectly. He said, I'm so excited because I'm finally ready for a console generation. Like, he doesn't buy all the new stuff. He waits for his Nintendo until he's ready for it. So I'm excited for you, Jason. I really am. For me, can't justify it. I'm very excited for Mario Kart. Can't play it. I'm very excited for Donkey Kong. I can't play it. I'm hoping that maybe by the holiday season there'll be a good deal and I'll be able to get it, because I do think this is a good hardware evolution for Nintendo that has some great games and some great promise. But like you said, I'm a bag of mixed emotions. I don't know how to rate this because life is prohibiting me from doing so. But Nintendo did a good job. They did a good job. They've got some great games, some great tech. But I just can't justify paying $80 for a Nintendo game right now. So it's a wait and see, much like you see in all those community responses, much like you see with you. Like we're just all kind of sidelined right now by the state of the world. And that's what it's like to be a Megadad, right?
Yeah, this sucks ass, Adam. Like, it sucks so much ass. Like, there's this concept, right, that they'll pay, but let's just imagine a world where people, like, let's imagine all that's true. People will usually pay, like, they'll complain, but then they'll still buy it. What if we get to a point where it gets so bad that, like you said, I can't? Now that's sad, and we're all different in different spots. That is troubling, and I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about it. Like this, it's overshadowing gaming completely, and people are finally getting into Terra. Oh, quick shout out to that Grub guy. Is it Jeff Grubb? I don't know.
Yeah,
The
Grub,
Game
yeah.
Mess guy. Like, I'm not the biggest fan or whatever, but he had come out with some videos. He recently released a video about taxing the rich and putting it in the form of a Mario Kart conversation, saying like we have to blue shell the rich, and just he's like, you know what? I'd like to start talking more about, like, I think about this all the time, and I want to start talking about the economy, and I want to start talking about this and maybe inform people, maybe change some minds. Like he was like, I think about this, so I'm making content around it, which
Yeah.
I'm like, thumbs up. So I like gave him my thumbs up, and I'm like, okay, great. It's wild how, a lot of people don't want to talk about politics at all, but like, you fuckers, like, that's why we got here, because you didn't want to engage in important shit, and now it's like affecting your dollars and your life. So I shout out to them. The other shout out I wanted to do was a YouTube channel, Kit and Krista, I think it's called.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. But two former Nintendo communication employees have a YouTube channel, and they were talking about how in the Treehouse live for the 4 hours, it was drop the price comments in the chat. And I got to put this information out there because I didn't know this. They're like, back in the day, Nintendo would do these things and have a war room and have their pulse on what's happening. And they'd be like, we have teams of people thinking about what's the reaction? How do we handle this? And I never knew that. It didn't seem like they had that, but they did. And they're like, now we don't. Like, for instance, as a way that Nintendo's dropping the ball from the communication standpoint, they're like, Doug Bowser hasn't done an interview in like years. And it's like, before, like, so we'd bring out someone like Reggie if things got really hot, and they say, where's our face of the company that people love that can deliver this type of hard news? And they're like, this Bowser guy hasn't done shit. and their communication is like not like broken, non-existent, or they're questioning. They're like, as communication people, we see this as broken. And it was just very interesting. I'm like, wow, Nintendo did a good job before. It didn't seem like they had that type of system, but they did. And guess what? Now they don't. And it's like, it was very interesting. So yeah, shout out to that YouTube channel and this whole conversation. What a fucked up world, Adam.
Yeah, I really think the launch of the Switch 2 is kind of going to be a bellwether for the video game industry at whole. Like I really am very curious to see what the reaction, what the response, what the numbers look like, what the pushback is, because we're seeing it happen really quickly. People are worried about just, you know, I have a friend at work who is moving in a couple of months, and he had planned on buying a house, and the amount of money that he lost over the last 2 days with the stock market crash, he doesn't even know if he can afford a
The
house anymore.
stock market crashed?
Yeah, can you imagine that, huh?
Shut up. Did it really?
It really did.
Motherfucker, man. I didn't
Do
even
not
know
look
that.
at your 401ks. There's a fun
Son
game
of
that you
a
can play at home
bitch.
for free. Do not look at your 401k plan. But that's just the way it is, man. So I think companies are really going to have to assess how they respond, how they message, because people might start getting really frustrated really quick. And it's not just gonna be the amount of can I afford it, it's gonna be like the what the fuck do you think you're doing asking me for $20 more for Mario Kart when I can't afford bread? You know what I'm saying?
Damn,
Are we
I'm
gonna end?
sad.
Are we gonna end on this? Hell no, we're not
Yes.
gonna end on this. We're gonna end with the caboose. The caboose
great.
is where we give you a recommendation of something outside the world of video games. And Antonio, I got a good one for you.
Go.
I watched a movie last night on Hulu about a dude mowing motherfuckers down with a machine gun to save some people that crashed on an island. This movie's called Plane. With Gerard Butler as a
Okay,
pilot.
I was like, it's Jason Statham or like someone like that.
It's Gerard Butler as a badass pilot that his plane is flying over the ocean. It's New Year's Eve. He's got 15 passengers. It's really light. And lightning strikes his plane, and it goes down on an island inhabited by pirates. And this guy has to save everybody on the plane, mow some motherfuckers down with RPGs and machine guns, and fly them off the island. It's like Speed on a crashed island with an airplane. I loved it. It's an hour and a half of great action, really cool kills. I gotta say, you gotta watch this movie for the final kill. The way the guy kills the main bad guy is absolutely epic. I love this shit. If you want a good turn your brain off movie, you watch Plane on Hulu, starring Gerard Butler. Good shit.
The effort and money put into crafting the title is absurd. Absurd. It's like, all right, you have 5 seconds to create a title for this movie. They typed it into AI. They're like, we need a one-word title. Plane. Go for it. Green lit. Holy shit.
So
My caboose, and I think I already brought it up, but it deserves another recommendation, is Severance on Apple TV. Have you watched it?
I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
Don't have the money for Apple TV.
The reason that you should watch it is because it has such strong Lost vibes.
Yeah.
And I know you're a big fan of Lost. This is some of the best acting I've ever seen. Like, consistently, every member of the cast is just delivering intense, effective acting. They do a lot with a little, and the story is just incredibly thought-provoking and interesting, and gets better and better and better. I'm just at the end of season 1, and it changes so much, so it's always fresh too. It's not like the same party trick every episode. It's like they end up changing it dramatically as it goes. So Severance on Apple TV is one of the one of the best shows I've seen.
From the family focus, would this be something that I could watch with my
Absolutely not. You do not want to watch this.
Okay.
Like, it's a very disturbing show. It's like a mind trip a lot, and there is graphic content. There's a lot of like themes that nobody should probably be thinking about for their mental health. Like, like it really encapsulates how much like people hate their jobs, talks about like, you know, life and death. themes of like what is a person, like shit like that. It's
Oh,
deep
wow. Okay.
and it's troubling throughout.
That's Severance on Apple TV and Plane on Hulu. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us for this jumbo-sized episode of Megadads Live. We want to know what you thought about the Nintendo Switch. Do you have $1 billion to buy one? What games are you excited about? Where the fuck is Doug Bowser? Put it all in the comments below. Make sure you join us on the Megadads Discord. That's free. You can join us. The link to the Discord is in the show notes below. Thank you guys so much once again for joining us. We'll see you next time on an all-new episode of Megadads Live. Wow.
Wow.